In this video, I'm going to cover the trustee application process and give you the overview of how good practice application processes look like for charity boards. So the first thing you should expect to do is to submit a CV and a cover letter. And some of you, it might have been a while since you dusted off a CV or a cover letter. So my advice to you is to always write them, put them in the drawer, and then look at them again a couple of days later. You might be invited to a formal or informal interview. You might be invited to observe the board. Now, these two things can often happen back to back. So you might be asked in for an informal interview, a chat with the chair and a couple of other trustees, and then you might go straight into observing a board. Others, it might be separated, where 1 week you have a formal interview, so a set of questions that are graded with trustees, and then a couple of weeks later, you're invited to observe the board. It's important, if you are offered this, to do it, because it's a really good way to sense check whether you fit, whether you think the culture is right, whether or not it's the sort of board you want to join. It will also give you some insight into how the board is functioning more generally. So you'll see how it operates, how they handle questions, what the sort of papers are, what the level of debate is. So really, really good opportunity if you get offered that. A tip for you is to always ask questions, look around, prod and poke, make sure you are thinking about whatever it is you want to know about the charity. What does the funding look like? What's the staff base look like? What does the future look like? What are their intended plans this year? Is there a strategy? Is there a business plan you could look over? So what you're trying to do is to show yourself not just that you're a diligent trustee, but that you are also carrying out your due diligence at the organisation, which will ultimately offer you better insight into what you're joining. Formal appointment is normally by the trustees. So trustees appoint each other, and then trustees will also elect a chair. So it's important to just remember that trustees are responsible for each other's appointment, and what they will do is normally not that approval through. If you've been asked to observe a board, they might take a vote once you've left the room about whether or not they want to appoint you or not, but it's trustees that appoint other trustees. The last thing that we would say is, once you've gotten through, is to make sure you get an induction, because we don't want you just to know how to find roles and how to apply for them. We want to set you up for being the best that you can be as a new trustee. So make sure, insist on a good induction.